Thanks very much, Jane. I'm Nick, Rough Cut Media. I was a BBC journalist and producer for about 22 years, I think it was, till I left last year. Set up a business in the middle of the lockdown, which was not ideal, but it's working out slowly. And so I thought I'd come along here and talk about a way of smaller businesses or larger businesses, but people who don't want to invest huge amounts of money in getting beautiful drone shots and expensive cameras and stuff, that a way you can really put your presence out there in social media online. So I'm not talking about the kind of vlogs that you'd see on Casey Neistat or Zoella or some of these highly produced, basically films that a lot of the YouTubers and stuff would. I'm talking about the sort of thing you'd look at if you were looking for tax advice online, or if you were looking for how to fix your bike or how to bake a cake. Those sort of kind of low level, low technical spec vlogs, which I think are a great way to get into video marketing. Let me just share my screen, because I did a PowerPoint. I wasn't going to, and I thought, no, I've got to. Right, sorry, that's my website. Right, okay, so video marketing. I want to start just talking about that a little bit. Why video? Why is everyone going on about video at the moment? First of all, I think in this day and age, it's the best way to communicate. I mean, we know young people are always absorbing video online, but it's something that's gone through the generations. We're not when we no longer read the book, we watch the movie. I think the same is true when we go online. Most people would rather get the information said to them than have to read through screens of stuff on your website. And this is true for all ages, younger ages more than older ages, but I think it goes through the generations, as I'll show with some statistics in a minute. The second reason is search engines love it. If you've got video on your website, especially longer video, Google's going to notice that people are spending longer on your pages because they're watching the video. So the time they take to watch a video counts as time spent on your website. If people are spending a long time on your website, Google will notice that and you'll go up the search rankings. And finally, social media, love it. The FANGs, the Facebook, the Apple, the Google are at war over video, basically. You'll fly up the Facebook algorithms, they will push video, and if especially popular video, so you'll reach a wider audience. YouTube is obviously the biggest video platform. Why is this not? There we go. YouTube's the biggest video platform. These statistics obviously exclude all the other video that's out there on places like Facebook. Unfortunately, I've got all your faces in front of what it says here. There we go. So basically 3 billion global YouTube users, and 37% of the world's mobile internet traffic goes just to YouTube. That's excluding all the other video that's out there. More than a third are just going to YouTube. We've also got 37 million users in the UK. You can see a big chunk of them in that 16 to 44 bracket, but that leaves a big chunk. Under 16's a lot, but over 45's too. And I'm really interested in this statistic, which is a US statistic. 67% of internet users over 56 use YouTube. So they are going on YouTube and they're watching the kind of content they watch. So even if your business is angled towards people, veering towards retirement or who are retired, the ones that you can reach through digital marketing, so the 67% that are on the internet, sorry, the ones that are on the internet, you're reaching 2/3 of them through YouTube. And there's an audience for every niche, no matter how small the audience is. As somebody was talking R&D tax credits there, that might not be, you're not going to break the internet with a video about R&D tax credits, but the audience that there is there for it will be on the internet. You might reach less people than Zoella, but the people you reach are the people you want to sell to. So why am I talking about vlogging? Let me see, here we go. What's the easiest and cheapest way to launch into the video market? We're not talking about high technical specifications. We're talking about something that's cheap and easy to do. I think for businesses that rely on expertise, where you're selling your expertise, if you're an accountant, you're a lawyer, you're offering IT services, you're a consultant, that kind of thing. It's an opportunity for you to demonstrate your expertise and to put your personality out there. You know, you're expressing yourself as a nice, reasonable person, the sort of person I'd like to do business with. So people are warming to you when they take that advice, when they actually want to start paying for it, or they want to come, you know, want to go a little bit further, then maybe perhaps you are the person that they call. Okay, so that's why vlogging, and that's why I'm talking about vlogging, that's why I'm talking about video. So what I'm going to do this morning, and we'll look at a couple of vlogs, and then go through some of the kit you need and how to film it. Now, I was going to spend 10 minutes at the end just talking about editing, because I think that is the bit that really scares people, how to put all this stuff together so it looks like something that's not completely amateur. So the first question that people usually say when I suggest, God, why aren't you vlogging? Well, I'm not good enough, you know, I'm not Davina McCall, I'm not Fiona Bruce, I'm not Gary Lineker, I can't do this stuff. But you look at the people that are on the internet getting real success, and well, they're not either. So I'm just going to show you this one.
What's up, guys? In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about Palantir Technologies, ticker symbol PLTR. Now, first and foremost, I wanted to talk to you guys about Palantir and give a bit of a general stock update, because Palantir Technologies stock has sold off massively over the course of the past couple of months. But I also wanted to talk about how I personally believe Palantir Technologies stock could possibly explode between 10 to 15%.
Okay, that's enough of that. I don't think that's very good. There's no lighting. He spends a lot of money on a massive microphone, but all that seems to do is get in the way of his face. He kind of mumbles. I don't really understand. I'm struggling to keep up with what he's saying. But even that quality of video, he's got 22,000 subscribers. In the 4 days after he launched that, when I found it online, it had 5,000 views, which is a lot. I mean, you're talking about a big channel there. He speaks in very short chunks. You'll notice the little head movements where they've edited that. Rarely more than 15 seconds he keeps up without putting a picture or an edit in there. So I think that was one of the weaker ones that I found. This guy's a bit better. Sorry if the sound on this is not very good. It's very loud, but I can't very much about that.
So in this video, I'm going to be deep diving around flip properties, how to find them, how to analyze them, and how to make the most money from them. So you're going to want to stick around for this video. If you are new to the channel, my name's Jamie York. I've been investing in property for the better part of a decade now, and this channel is brought to you to add just as much value as I can for free, all around beginner, intermediate, and advanced property investment techniques. And if you're interested in that and this is a channel for you, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And hey, if you're interested in me creating any particular video, let me know what you want me to talk about in the comments. And I want this to be an engaged group where I'm creating content that's going to add value to you most. So we're going to break this down into...
Okay, so that's enough of that. I mean, that's, I think, a little bit more, it's a little bit more professional. He's got a bit of lighting on him. He's got a bit of music in the background. He's got that graphic sequence. Those graphic sequences are something you can find apps to make yourself, or you can get a graphic designer to do it. It wouldn't cost very much money. Adding it to your timeline is just like adding it to your edit is just like adding another picture or another piece of you speaking. So it's not a hard thing to incorporate that. He's got 27,000 subscribers. This had 2,000 views in 24 hours. YouTube's kind of what they call a long tail social media network. So you'll carry on getting views on that for weeks, months, even years. I've got some that I posted years ago that I'm still getting hits on. He's a bit more articulate, speaks in 15 to 25-second chunks when I kind of looked at it. He also does this. He doesn't overlay fancy graphics. When he does his presentation, he just writes on a blackboard, which I find kind of bizarre, but it shows how low tech you can still be and still get engagement. I hope everyone's hearing this. And I think this is a really nice vlog. And Jennifer, who does this, I think very good. Let's have a little look at that.
There's only a few things that are certain in the UK, and one of them is paying taxes. But in this video today, I'm going to share with you 14 ways you can legally reduce your tax bill in 2020 and beyond. Hi there, welcome back to the Mama Furfur channel. My name is Jennifer.
Okay, so I like that. I got to say, I like that that video. I think she is quite convincing. She's splashed out an expensive camera. A lot of people will do that when they get into vlogging. Start with your phone and get into a camera. She speaks in longer chunks. I think she's a little bit calmer. 76,000 subscribers, 15,000 views for this video. That is quite impressive. That's a sort, you're starting to maybe get sponsorship there. You're starting to maybe actually get some money from YouTube from some of your videos there if you post regularly and you meet the criteria. So yeah, I mean, quite a nice vlog, but also simple. She's got a slightly more sophisticated graphics, but she's probably been at it for a while because she's got that kind of following. So these are the sort of things that you can emulate, the sort of subjects that you can talk about, and you can see get this amazing traction. And you're putting these out weekly. They love that. The networks, the social media networks love that, and YouTube love that. And you build a following. So let's just talk now about how to do it and what kit you need. I'm going to close that. So what kit don't you need is the first thing I want to mention. You don't need a fancy camera like Mama Furfur there had. I think what you need is a phone, a mobile phone. If you've got a phone that's a high-end phone that's 4 years old, maybe 5 years old, something like an iPhone 6 or a Samsung of the same sort of age at the top of the range phones, then they had great cameras that still, perfectly usable today. Now, if you get a phone like the 400 quid phones you get, that's you see around, amazing cameras, you don't need to go and buy an iPhone 12 to take video on it. I think what you do need is to get, I would recommend, and I'm using one of these at the moment, is it's a ring light. That's a picture from an advert on eBay. There are thousands of these. The main difference between them is the stands that they're on. So you want a good collection of stands that suits your workspace and where you're planning to do this. It's worth getting bicolor because a bicolor light blends with daylight and it blends with indoor lights. You can vlog night and day if you want. The next thing, and I think this is the most important thing, is a microphone. I'd recommend a lav mic. I got a decent one for about 16 quid on Amazon. And they connect your phone and then they connect onto your shirt. And you just get a clean sound feed to your phone, because obviously if the sound quality is poor on your video, then people aren't going to understand it. They're just going to go to someone else. It really is worth spending that. Obviously, if you've got an iPhone, you pay more for everything. You need an adapter or you need to buy a more expensive mic, because that's what Apple do. And finally, if you don't get one with your ring light, you need a stand for your phone so that it can hold steady while you're filming. Okay. I'm going to carry on a bit, but if there are questions, Jane, you flagged that up, yeah, and I'm happy to be interrupted for questions.
Yeah, no worries, Nick.
Okay, so right, the first thing is, to talk about the content, what you should talk about and how you should talk about it. I mean, obviously, what your customers are interested in, and what the the ins and outs of your business are and what would interest them. But do some of these SEO tests that you're always told to do with blogs. The same apply for vlogs. So I did a Google search on, is vlogging good for marketing business? And you can see you get these suggestions people also ask. And you look through these and you see what are the benefits of vlogging, and is vlogging better than blogging? Although most of the things that are thrown up there is how much money can I make from vlogging, because obviously for some people that's a hugely desirable profession. But I could see myself making a vlog on what are the benefits of vlogging, and is vlogging better than blogging? And those will chime with the search engines. So once you've decided what the title of your video is going to be and how you're going to pitch it, technical language, I think if you're selling to people who know, in a technical environment, and the only audience you're interested in are experts, then it's fine to use technical language. For a wider audience, explain a little bit of jargon and use that. It makes you sound like a proper expert, but keep it to a minimum. Make sure make sure it's all understandable. That's the most important thing. You need to give the audience what it came for. I'm going to show you some stats in a sec that show how quickly viewers can drop off a YouTube video or a vlog. If you've said, I'm talking about what are the benefits of vlogging, and I go off tangent on something else that they're not interested in, then I'm going to lose my audience, and I'm going to go down the search engine rankings, because what the big companies are looking for, the big platforms, they're looking for people who stay on the content for as long as possible. They watch to the end. That's gold for them. Be warm and personal. You're selling yourself as well as your expertise. It shouldn't be a dry lecturer. People love an anecdote. I worked for this big company. I worked for that big company when I was doing this. Love that. And avoid being over commercial. People expect, follow me on YouTube anyway. They expect to follow me, like me, but they don't want a pitch for your business. That's not what they've come for. And they'll just if you do that, they'll turn off and go to the next vlogger, and your vlog will disappear. And then when you've decided what you're talking about, I mean, I in the same way that you would if you were doing a presentation, write a script, or at least bullet points for what you're going to say. Different people do it in different ways. I like to write a script, and then I kind of say it comes out how it comes out. But if you notice, I measured how long those YouTubers earlier were talking for. 15 seconds, some of them 20, 25, 30. And, it's difficult to keep an energy going for a whole, if you're doing a 5-minute vlog, it's difficult to keep your energy going, to keep articulate. You're going to have to edit it. Well, why not just speak it in the first place in those chunks, like I've chunked it out there in short bits, and then you know what you're editing. The edits are going to come at the right point. And also you can keep your energy up, and you can be really articulate and really on it for every part of your video. Okay, so I would recommend working out the chunks of what you want to say. Okay, I'm going to say this in a chunk, and then I record another chunk, and then it'll all come together much nicer. And then you can see what pictures might be available. So this script here that I've written, I've got a little note on the left-hand column, which is for pictures, that I'm going to put pictures of mobile phones instead of having Abby, my wife, has done this for me. She's very good in front of camera. She's agreed. I thought, well, instead of having her envision the whole time, I'll cover some of it with pictures of mobile phones. So I went on the internet, found some nice free to use, copyright legal pictures, and I plan to cover that. So I actually only need to read that little section there. I don't need to record it as a vlog. Okay. Just when we were talking about data a moment ago, this is a video I did a few years ago. Had about 25,000 views, this. And when you look, this is the top level, the simplest level of analyzing your video's performance. You can see how the viewing dropped off from when people first engaged with it. So the blue band at the beginning is the first 30 seconds. That is where YouTube start counting views after 30 seconds. And any video, people are going to come on, they didn't like me, they didn't like what I was talking about, it wasn't what they were hoping for or expecting, it was too long, they got bored, whatever. So I lost a third of them before the first 30 seconds. And then it continues to fall, and that is the pattern for online videos. When people have got the information they want, they go. But then you can see there are two spikes. And those spikes are where people have rewound to watch a bit again. And when I went back to the video, I found those spikes came at the point where I did technical tests, and there were, two cameras side by side, and they were showing they were showing how the cameras compared, and people wanted to watch that over again, so they rewound. So those are the highlights of the video perhaps for people. So maybe if I was doing that again, I do more of these technical tests. Yeah, and then you can see at the end, it drops off because people think I've come at the end, they've seen all the exciting stuff, and it's time to go. And again, that's completely normal. But a third having watched all the way through, I think is quite good. Okay, so that's, modify that content when you see these graphs. What's turning people on, what's turning people off? You can gauge your content. Okay, just finally about the filming. When you get around to film it, you obviously want to find a nice backdrop. It doesn't need to be a beautiful room. It can be the corner of a beautiful room. Okay, it just needs to be, it needs to look nice and relate to what you're saying. I mean, she's talking about tax. This is just a nice living room. It's fine. Nice even light on the face. Usually light coming from one side a little bit more than the other, but you want to see the face. Ideally, a little bit of sparkle in the eyes from the light, which Mama Furfur hasn't got. And then for the and people, this is a good tip for video calls as well. A lot of people don't do this. They've got their eyes down on the bottom thirds line. You get these grids. There's usually settings in phone cameras that will put this grid over your camera, so you can see that you have the line, the eyes on that top thirds line, and that will and that gives you a really nice balanced picture. Okay. Any questions on any of that? Because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start talking about editing. Anyone got any questions? Oh, shall we save that till the end?
Nick, can I just ask sort of what do they say the best result for time-wise for a vlog should be? What's the ideal amount of time that you should be doing one if you're going to do one? Is there any data on that?
To be honest, no. I mean, I think Facebook say they like videos that are more than 3 minutes long, and they promote that. But you see some of those ones that I was showing you there were 10, 15, 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
I think you've got to be interesting. You've got to have something really interesting to say. If somebody's going to watch a 20-minute vlog, I'm surprised that they're doing so well, but they're doing well, because people are listening. They want to listen to that stock market advice, that tax advice for a long time. But I would say, give it what it's worth, because what the search engines and the social media platforms will love is that people are watching your video to the end, and that's more important than having 20. If they watch 20 minutes to the end, you're obviously social media gold. Yeah.
Cheers, Nick. Thank you.
Okay, lovely. So editing, when you've filmed your video, you obviously need to edit it together to get out the hesitations and the bits that you didn't like and the retakes and whatever. So there are loads of there are loads of apps you can do this on your phone. I'm going to actually send Jane a sheet that just with some suggestions and some links to some software, as well as some of the stuff I've been talking about earlier. But things like KineMaster for iPhone or for Android. Really good software that you can use very simply. It's about £4 a month. It's very simple to edit on. I mean, I'm using this because I find it easier and it's easy to demonstrate on. This is DaVinci Resolve, which is free software. You just need a bit of a more powerful computer to use it. And these things, you go for the phone things. They're much more simple, much more intuitive. But you can't build your skills in the way you can on this. This is the sort of thing that you can learn in a few hours, but it'll take you a lifetime to master. So any editing basically revolves around a timeline like this, where you're laying down clips on a timeline, putting them together, and then playing through. I'm just going to demonstrate how I filmed that script that I showed you earlier. I filmed that with my wife, and we're now going to edit that together. Like I say, the principles are going to be the same for any editing software that you use. It's just the buttons that you press. So I'm not teaching you how to do this. I'm just giving you a sort of demonstration of the process that we go through to do this. So this is Abby's first clip.
Hi, good to see you. So vlogging is good for your business, but not sure how to do it? I'm here to take you through a simple step-by-step guide.
Okay, so that's our introduction. We obviously don't want all this. She's good practice. She's looked at the camera before and after she's spoken. So I'm just going to, there's different ways to cut all this up. I'll just give her the breath at the start and delete that. And then we have this.
Hi, good to see you. So, you know vlogging.
And I'm not sure about the delivery of the...
Hi, good to see you.
So I'm going to cut that out because like you can change this once you've started. You can change this to make it look as good as you can. I mean, TV, film, it's all made in the edit. So we start off, I'm going to start off like this.
You know vlogging is good for your business, but not sure how to do it.
Okay. And then I made a title sequence. So a title sequence, which I'm going to find here, is on another timeline. It's just another bit of video. This is, I've done this in a fairly complicated way, but you could do that much more simply. Sorry, let me just Control A, Control C. Hopefully this is going to work. I've been having a bit of a problem with that recently, but Control V, in the same way that you'd cut and paste in Word. And then I just bring this bit of video in to join on to the end of that bit of video. So that will come, I think, hang on, what have I done here? So how's that working? Yeah, so here we go. I'll just try that.
Simple step-by-step guide.
Got that a little bit too early. That's right, there it goes. And we fiddle about with that to make that, oh, that's what I've done wrong. That's what I've done wrong. So you just put that, and then we just move Abby's face along there a little bit so that we get the nice mix in there. So a little bit of branding in there. So that's a sort of thing that you get a graphic designer to do, or you could do yourself quite simply. And then you just basically cut and paste it into your timeline, you know, every time you do a vlog. So you're not going constructing all those things. And that was a very simple thing to do, because I'm not a designer, but I just whipped that up myself. So I'm doing this the Blue Peter way. This is something I prepared earlier. So we then go and add some more clips to this and build our timeline. So if you notice, I picked music there that ended like that. I don't like the music very much, but I do like the way that ends, because I can now go in like that. Sorry, I think this actual next clip.
The first question lots of people have.
There's a bit of silence at the beginning of it. So let's just get rid of that. Put that up to there. And here we go.
The first question lots of people have when they think about vlogging is, what's it going to cost them? What is the price? When you look online, there are lots of vlogging cameras with huge prices, but you don't need to buy them. You can start just with this, your mobile phone. Okay, so we carry along building our timeline like that, and we get to the bit where we were going to have the mobile phones, the pictures of the mobile phone. So Abby's just read this bit. You don't need the latest £1,000 phone. Okay, so Abby just read that to the script, so we can just delete that little bit of video there. And then we found these are copyright-free pictures. Plonk them on there. I mean, I hope this is making sense to people. I mean, I'm obviously not able to teach you how to edit in a short session like this. I'm just giving you a kind of demonstration of the sort of you know, what it looks like once you've worked out what buttons to press. That you can just drop these pictures and add that. You don't need the latest £1,000 phone either. A high-end phone made in the last 5 years should be okay. Okay, so if we think that's a little bit boring, then these editing systems have got great shortcuts. They make it so simple for you. You just go onto there, swap, add a bit of dynamic zoom, which you can all fiddle with and sort out and make better. So this is now looking quite decent, I think. Just with this, your mobile phone. You don't need the latest £1,000 phone either. A high-end phone made in the last 5 years should be okay. Okay, and then we put this this clip on the end, and you can see we're now building our vlog. Yeah,
this should be okay. Today, even cheaper phones have amazing cameras.
Okay, and then what was that? That was C. We come on to D. Yes, D is the, and then so we built that. We then put the next clip in.
Phones have amazing cameras. The next thing you'll need,
and you get that horrid kind of youthy YouTube jump cut. But again, this is all quite simply resolved by simply, and I got all your faces in the way of what I'm trying to look at. I zoom in here and make that, I zoom that in and I move it down a bit, move that down a bit. So she's on the line of 30. She's not going to thank me for that still frame. So we go like that.
The last 5 years should be okay. Today, even cheaper phones have amazing cameras. The next thing you'll,
and we get like that, and we can move that in a little bit, make that a little bit tighter just because it looks better. Move it down a bit, like something like that.
Need is a light like this with a stand and a microphone like this.
Okay, and then what I decided to do is take a little picture of the microphone.
And a microphone like this.
Okay, so that was quite an easy thing to do. Of course, when you start adding the photos of the phones, when you start adding the pictures of the microphones, that's quite easy. But you then start, oh, let's have a picture of our industrial processes. Let's have a picture of our camera from a drone, and you start, because this is the basis of making any TV or any film or any video. You start making it more complex, and then obviously you start spending more money and more time on it. But I mean, I think it's a nice, it's a nice thing to do if you can do it simply. So let's just have a look at what I came up with, a 40-second vlog, just with these little clips here.
You know vlogging is good for your business, but not sure how to do it? I'm here to take you through a simple step-by-step guide. The first question lots of people have when they think about vlogging is, what's it going to cost them? What is the price? When you look online, there are lots of vlogging cameras for huge prices, but you don't need to buy them. You can start just with this, your mobile phone. You don't need the latest £1,000 phone either. A high-end phone made in the last 5 years should be okay. Today, even cheaper phones have amazing cameras. The next thing you'll need is a light like this with a stand and a microphone like this.
Okay, so that is kind of like the way that you go about it. You don't need to use this software. There's lots of other software you can use. There's lots of simpler software you can use, but this gives you great flexibility. I filmed this in 4K because when I film this in 4K, I can zoom in like that, and I'm still outputting a full HD picture to YouTube or whatever, and they'll like that. You don't need to do that. You can still zoom in with HD because most people are watching on their phones and they're not going to notice a difference. But that is, that is kind of the outline of the process of video editing. Obviously, in a brief thing like this, I can't teach you how to do it and show you the buttons to press, but that's a principle of how you construct a vlog. Much more simpler than much more simple than making a more complex film. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen now. I hope you were able to follow that as well. I hope I wasn't getting too technical. Having said, you should pitch to your audience in my previous chat. I mean, what I showed you there wasn't, that wasn't art, that film. It wasn't great technical, prowess. I threw that together, but it does show a relatively cheap and simple workflow where you can get your message out on video. And I think the result was as good or better than those people we saw with 20, 30, 70,000 views. I thought that was up to the standard of Mama Furfur, and certainly our covering shots I think were better. But at the end of the day, it's not the level of technical perfection that people are looking at these vlogs for. When I want to fix my bike, I want someone who's telling me how to fix my bike. I'm investing in the stock market. I want sensible, level-headed advice. I don't actually care if the video is brilliant or not. You know, I want to hear the sound. I want it to be okay. But, you know, we're talking about the message here. And if you can get a message that chimes with your audience, you can make it looking and sounding okay, then, you know, you could, you know, you could be onto something. And as we've seen, the audience, the potential audience is huge. So yeah, but that's kind of what I wanted to say. I've managed to keep within time. I've raced through because I was conscious that I had limited time. But yeah, any questions? More than welcome.
Nick, yeah, that was absolutely brilliant. I think Karen, you posted a question in the chat, wasn't it, about the...
Your sound's gone weird.
Oh, is it?
The Dalek.
Yeah. I think there's a question in the chat, Nick.
Okay, what does it say?
Hi, yeah, that was my question, Nick, which was about outdoor filming. So I just want to just stand outside and show the beautiful views I've got and my lovely horses. And yeah, but I appreciate that must be a whole different kettle of fish.
Well, no. I mean, there's no reason not to do it outside unless it's raining. I mean, you obviously have to find a day when the wind is the main problem because it'll interfere with your sound. But you find a nice, still sunny day. You know,
yeah, brilliant.
There is a way, you know, like you find a nice, still sunny day. You could do 5 of these. You don't need to, you know, unless if you're a divorce lawyer, we have divorce lawyers on here sometimes. Yesterday, I would have been vlogging about the Bill Gates, Melinda Gates, and the financial implications or whatever of that. You can keep topical, but if you're talking about horses and mental health that you'd be talking about, you know, you could do 5 of them on a nice, still sunny day, get the views, and then and post them over, you know, over a month or so.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question, Nick.
Yeah.
Standing or sitting down, and one thing that bugs me with some people that I've watched is hands. Some people crop the hands out, and then other people have got the hands in camera, and it just looks awkward. So what would you do? Would you keep the hands out of the shot unless they have to be there?
Gosh. Well, I mean, I think I would frame. I would have my basic framing roughly like my framing is now. And then, yeah, you are going to see some of my hands. I don't know. I mean, if it bothered you, you could just keep your hands out of the shot. But the reason I do it, I'd probably be a little bit wider. And then when I do it wider, then I'm able to crop in so that I can have the crop in and out. And obviously on the tight crop in, you're not going to see the hands.
Yeah, because you see, like the first video you saw the guy doing his hands like this. I don't know about, maybe it's just me, but it kind of just irritates the crap out of me. He's just like...
If you watch TV presenters, it's always what did they do with their hands, and it's always,
yeah,
you know, it's kind of
that's why I kind of asked you, because you know you've been there. What's the story? Do you tell them, you know, don't put them in your pocket?
They did.
Have a ream of paper like that BBC presenter did that time.
It depends on the shot, but yeah, I mean, you know, if the ream of paper is relevant, but sometimes you want to be expressive with your hands, don't you?
Yeah.
If you'd want to see somebody all the way through a vlog going like that, but you know, I think it's more important the performance and what you're doing with your hands, to be honest. But if you've seen something that irritates you, then yeah, don't do it.
Oh God, I mean, might as well just give up now.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've got 2 questions, if I can, please.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
First one is about number of views and subscribers to these channels on YouTube. The figures you had on there, you had like 15,000 views, 72,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
I just wonder, how on earth does that work? Because you surely would only subscribe to something after you've seen it. So how are your subscriber numbers 4 to 6 times more than your viewers?
The subscriber numbers would be to the channel. So if you've got a channel about holidaying in India, right, and you're giving advice, then give advice every week about holidaying in India, and then people might say, oh, I like what this guy's saying, then they'd subscribe to your channel. But you may be doing something on a town in the south of India one week and the north of India the other week, and some of your viewers are only interested in some of the things you do. Like that Mama Furfur, some of her viewers might not have been interested in tax avoidance, you know. So that's, And I think there's you can subscribe on YouTube and you can get notifications. I think if you get the notifications button, you'll get a notification every time somebody posts. With a subscriber, I think I'm not quite sure how that feeds into your into your viewing.
Yeah, and well, that explains the subscribers. So it's
Yeah.
not for that particular video. It's across all the videos they posted.
Yeah, and